yes. Ha ha. Oh, there's the magic. So I put a mark on there. Sorry. Stop yelling at me, guys. Jeez, man, I lost track. A little lockout plate, so if you want to get rid of your vacuum advance. Not bad for $7, right? Hi, welcome back to Fast Monty's Garage. This is the extension, I guess I'll call it part 4B, that we're still trying to get the cam out of the block, but in order to do so, we have to tackle that stripped drain plug, and it should be interesting. And then hopefully take the timing set off, and then take the distributor out, and then we can take the cam out, and then we can take the oil pan off and go fishing. Hopefully we can accomplish all that, and we see where we end up. So if you haven't done so, subscribe so you can get notified of future releases. But that's what I hope to tackle in part 4B. So here we go. All right, team. Here's the culprit. This is the driver's side drain plug for the coolant. I can just spin my Allen wrench in there now. So the plan of attack is to drill a big enough hole in here to stick one of these in. It's called an easy out. Once you have a big enough hole, you can tap it in, and then it has teeth on it that grabs as you turn it counterclockwise. It should pull the remaining plug out. But in doing this, this is full of water, right? So as soon as we drill through this, the water's gonna come out. So I'm gonna have to come up with a way, which I think I have figured out, and that's just to have a little catch can to get the initial debris and then switch over to the funnel, just like we did on the other side. And remember how much comes out. It's quite a bit. So this should be fun. I gotta move the camera because it's in my way. It'll be interesting. Drill, catch can, drain a little bit into here, and then move the funnel over. There we go. Change bits, maybe that's the problem. Aha! It helps to have a sharp bit. We have our hole drilled through the plug. We're going to stick our easy out in. See if we can get it to seat. Our attitude adjuster. Oh, that worked. It's moving. Ah, yes. Yes. Awesome. Ha ha. We got it. Welcome back to the front of the motor. Forgot to mention, can you imagine if I had to do that the drain plug procedure when the motor's in the car? Oh, that would have sucked. So anyway, glad I found that out outside the car. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and I already took the 4 bolts off the oil pan that connect to timing cover, and I'm going to we have 4 bolts left, and then I'll pry it off. Oh, there's the magic. Welcome back to the top side of the engine. We're almost there. As you can tell, I took the intake manifold off. That was just bolted in because we had to lift it out of the car. If you want to see how you actually take that off for the first time, check out the video right here, okay? Now, that being said, we have a few things to accomplish before the cam can come out, and the first thing is the distributor. Now, the distributor, before I pulled the engine, was set perfectly. So I want to maintain the same settings with little to no adjustment when I fire up the engine again. I know the timing's 38 degrees before top dead center, and as long as we're close when we put it back in, we're good. Now, something to keep in mind is you want to make sure you're at top dead center on number 1. And I know we are. Remember when we took the balancer off, we were at top dead center. So what I like to do is mark the settings on the block so we know where to put it back. I'm also going to keep the wires on because there's no sense in making it harder work for ourselves, right? So we'll start with the location of the distributor. So this is a all-encompassing HEI, or high energy discharge distributor. Some companies have a separate coil that you have to mount on the firewall. This is actually all built in. That's why I like it, because it's super clean, it's all inclusive, super high energy spark, and it's all within the distributor cap. That's pretty cool. To start things off, we only need a few basic tools. I have masking tape, a Sharpie, and our famous 9/16 inch wrench. I'm going to go ahead and mark what side this distributor came off. So when we take this off, there are 4 bolts. It could be confusing as to where we took it off and put it back on. So I'm just going to mark with my Sharpie. I'm just going to mark it right in the aluminum. You can always get it off later. So now we can take, I forgot one tool. Flat blade screwdriver. So there's 4 little screws. And what they are is a little clamp. I don't know if you guys saw that little clamp come out. That's all they are. Oh, almost forgot. I have to unplug it. This is what's sending all the juice. So, little plug on the side. And there she is. So I can set the cap aside. Now when you look down on the distributor cap, and I will go ahead and get a better view. Here's the better view. So here's our rotor, and this is the vacuum retard, which I don't use. So I'm probably going to take this off before we reinstall everything. But the reason I originally had this on here is, notice where it lines up on the head? That was my alignment tool. I knew exactly where to put this to set it for timing. It was right there, and that's when we dynoed it. That's how we got there. So I had taken it off after that, and that was easy to reset. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a straight edge, and I'm going to do the same thing. I want to mark where this is for a final setting. I also want to keep note as to where this ends up, because when we go to pull this out of the engine, there is a bevel gear on the end of this, and this is going to rotate about 30 degrees. And that's how you have to set it going back in, so when it goes back in, it ends up at the same spot. So that's our challenge, is how to mark that. So I move the camera, and this is pretty funny. Look, I had already marked it. So this is from the last time. So that's, I probably need to make some better notes. I'm going to say final. Distributor cap covers that anyway, so it's not a big deal. Final setting right here. It's actually more closer to here. So that's in line. Now when I take this out, so I'm going to loosen up our hold down plate. So there's the hold down plate. When I go to take this out, you're going to notice it's going to move. See, it moved from here to here. So when I go to put it back in, so I can take it all the way out, and you see this gear. That's the gear I'm talking about. So I want to start over here, so I'm going to mark that too. I'm going to pull it out. So I put a mark on there. Sorry. Stop yelling at me, guys. Jeez, man, I lost track. So this is where it starts. So when I put it in, I want it to start there. I also have an alignment for my vacuum is the alignment tool, and that's where it ends up. Voila. And then this is how you set timing. You actually turn this. So that's where we're at. So while we're here, I'm going to see if I can take the vacuum adjustment canister off. It's pretty easy. Now the other thing you guys need to know about is DUI actually will custom make the counterweights for you. So you can actually tell them what your performance requirements are, and they'll go ahead and adjust this for you on their mini dyno and send it to your adjustments. So I had give them my requirements, and that's what came back. There we go. So I had to release this little finger, which is the vacuum actuator. Now that I think about it, I might leave it in there because this can move pretty easily. I'm going to call Davis Unified and See if there's an adapter I can use to hold that in place. Hey guys, check it out. So I called Davis Unified, and they actually have a little lockout plate. So if you want to get rid of your vacuum advance. I went to Summit Racing, they had it in stock. I had it here in like a day. Awesome. Not bad for $7, right? Because I don't use this anyway. This is actually only used when the engine is less than half throttle. So actually even less than that, I would say, at idle. So when the butterfly orifices are closed on the carburetor, it creates vacuum. It pulls on this actuator, retards the ignition. It actually allows your engine to run a bit cooler, but since these high performance engines don't really care, nor do I, then I assume take it out, and that's why we took it out. Pretty cool, right? Hey guys, so we didn't get as far as we wanted, and in the interest of saving some video time, I'm going to go ahead and cut it here. And obviously that drain plug was such a relief to get out of the block without damaging the block. I went ahead and ordered some stainless steel plugs to put back in there, but I'm still debating repainting the block, and maybe even painting the heads. I don't know. Still thinking about it. So anyway, this is a good natural break right here, and thanks for spending time with me today. I hope you learned something. It's pretty cool that I got that fixed on the distributor as well, and I'm looking forward to rebuilding this whole monster, but we still have to get the cam out, right? So next, part 4C, we'll do that. And again, subscribe if you haven't already so you can get notified of the next releases, and we'll go from there. So you know the drill. Building fast and driving faster.